Another classic from the 80s, S-Express.
Enjoy this trip. Enjoy this trip. And it is a trip.
Countdown is progressing.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Terry Walsh's Dance Classics, BBC Radio Stoke.
Inner City with big fun. It's BBC Radio Stoke. I'm Terry Walsh with my dance classics from the 80s and 90s. In a moment, clubbing memories from Joe Fawcett, who you normally hear on my gardening show. But in those days, she was touring the clubs.
lose your right flow text. Rock the mic to the disc, you don't get a set rhyme in time for the finest quality. That's the time when you know that you're MC. M-I-K-double-E. Taking it down now, Mikey. M-I-K-double-E. We're just taking it down and taking it down and taking it down, Mikey. Taking it down and taking it down and taking it down, Mikey. Taking it down and taking it down and taking it down, Mikey. Down and taking it down and taking it down, Mikey. M-I-K-double-E. Because I'm an entertainer, I'm an entertainer. Come to me, I'm an entertainer, I'm an entertainer. I'm an entertainer, I'm an entertainer. Come to me, I'm an entertainer, I'm an entertainer. But some of the quiz, some of the black, and some of the heart attack. But some of the lyrics, some of the fast, and some are like that. But the best of the rest, and some of the tests, and some of the mic ease. I come to the microphone, I'm just another cool breeze. I'm just another cool breeze. I wanna give you a bass to release your feelings. The star deep moving with a standing healing. A word with a message, a lot of emotion.
Terry Walsh's Dance Classics, BBC Radio Stoke.
Hi, my name's Jo Fawcett, and you may know my voice from BBC Radio Stoke's gardening show. My first experience of clubbing in the Stoke-on-Trent area was in Hanley, and I used to go to Quench's, and then I used to go on to the Place after there because that was a little pre-club bar. But my first real taste of the dance music scene, the electronic scene as we kind of know it today, really was at Shelley's, and that was on my 18th birthday, and that was back in the early 90s. I really didn't realise it at the time, but there were some very, very influential DJs starting their careers there. People such as Sasha and Dave Seaman and other local DJs that were trying out this new dance music scene. I then attended really, really frequently a night called Golden. And I think it may have started at Room 101 in Newcastle. I remember going there. And also Regimes in Hanley. It had a residency there. And also finally at the Academy, or what some folks may know of as the Void. And that was a huge cavernous venue. But it was absolutely crammed every Saturday night, and people would be coming over from all over the country, particularly the Midlands, because we're kind of central, aren't we, in Stoke-on-Trent. And it was really, really influential. All the DJs that were playing there at the time have gone on to massive careers within the music industry, not only DJing, but also music production. I think Stoke-on-Trent was really a hub for a lot of talent that went into the electronic scene, particularly house music, and that's what influenced me to go down to London later on in the 90s and discover my path through music journalism, advertising and marketing, and finally record sales, and that's vinyl, record sales to independent record stores. And having worked with so many different artists and PR companies, it's just been a fantastic journey at that particular time in the music industry and my favourite genre of dance music.
tune, Alison Limerick, Where Love Lives. It's Terry Walsh's Dance Classics. It's BBC Radio Stoke. It's a New Year's Eve special looking back at the dance music of the 80s and 90s. Here's Chicane with Offshore. That's Chicane and Corson Offshore. It's BBC Radio Stoke and I'm Terry Walsh, and tonight we're featuring some of the finest dance hits from the 80s and 90s. Well, one of the best known dance nights in Stoke-on-Trent was Golden. We'll hear from one of the DJs next. But first, here's Gypsy Woman from Crystal Waters from 1991.
As she stands there singing for money, la la dee, la dee, la la dee, la 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 dee, la 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 dee, la la.
Hello, this is Kelvin Andrews. I'm probably best known for my DJing and production stuff. But I was also a resident DJ at Golden in Stoke back in the 90s, one of the original resident DJs. I think it's worth noting that the dance music scene was already incubating in Stoke-on-Trent for years before. It certainly had a lineage going right back to the Northern Soul days, and then the funk and soul and electro. By the time house music happened, the city was primed. It was ready for it to explode, and I think that's one of the big reasons why Golden took off so well. The early house music nights that were in Stoke-on-Trent, I think there was a Tuesday which went on at a club called Excalibur, which became Freetown. A night called Adrenaline, which was at Central Park in Newcastle-under-Lyme. That was a Wednesday. When you look back, and there was like 700-800 people out on a Wednesday night dancing to house music, the first wave of it. And obviously things were going on at the place under 18s night. There was an under 18 scene going on, which my younger brother Danny was involved with. He used to take his drum machine along. You'd have loads of 15, 16-year-olds jacking to house music on an under 18s night at the place in Hanley. I think that was prepping a lot of what was to come. One of the many highlights of that time was the opening night when Golden moved from Regime/Liberties to the Academy, which became the Void. And the opening night was Sister Sledge playing a live PA. We Are Family, the song, was an end-of-night record, an end-of-night sing-along. During that time it was big at Liberties. Warner Brothers approached me and my brother Danny to do a remix of the said song, which we did, and by the time we'd moved to the Academy, it was in the charts. It was like top 10. So you can imagine, there must have been 2,000 people in there. It was incredible. People locked outside, and I remember Sister Sledge turning up late. They'd done another show elsewhere, and I announced them on stage. I remember actually saying, I'm so sorry for the delay, and there was a collective, oh no. I said, would you please welcome Sister Sledge, and the place just absolutely exploded. It was really something else. It was a proper, moment in time. A lot of people who were there will remember it very clearly, I'm sure. It was amazing.
Terry Walsh's Dance Classics, BBC Radio Stoke.
A great philosopher once wrote,
Naughty, naughty, very naughty.
He's got a bit of sweet face and he goes by the name of Ebenezer Good. His friends call him Easer and he is the main geezer and he vibe up the place like no other man could. He's refined, he's sublime, he makes you feel fine. They're very much maligned and misunderstood. But if you know Easer, he's a real crowd pleaser. He's ever so good, he's Ebenezer Good. You see that he's mischievous, mysterious and devious when he circulates amongst the people in the place. Once you know he's fun and something of a genius, he gives a grin that goes around face to face to face. Backwards and then forwards, forwards and then backwards. Easer is a geezer, he loves to muscle in. That's about the time the crowd will shout the name of Easer. He's conjured in the corner laughing by the bass bin.
Easy good, easy good. He's Ebenezer Good, easy good, easy good. He's Ebenezer Good, easy good, easy good. He's Ebenezer Good, easy good, easy good. He's Ebenezer Good. He's Ebenezer Good.
Has anyone here got any Veras? Lovely.
philosopher once wrote,
naughty, naughty, very naughty.
Ebenezer Good leading light of the scene, know what I mean? He created the vibe, he takes you for a ride, and as if by design, the party ignites like it's coming alive. He takes you to the top, shakes you all around and back down. You know as he gets mellow, then it's smooth as a groove that is making you move. He glides into your mind with a sunny hello. A gentleman of leisure, he's there for your pleasure, but go easy on old Easer, he's a love you can lose. Extraordinary fella like Mr. Puginella. He's the kind of geezer who must never be abused. When you're in town and Ebenezer is around, you can sense the presence in the sound of the crowd. He gets them all out. The party starts rocking, the people get excited, it's time to shout loud.
Easy good, easy good. He's Ebenezer Good, easy good, easy good. He's Ebenezer Good, easy good, easy good. He's Ebenezer Good, easy good, easy good. He's Ebenezer Good. He's Ebenezer Good. He's Ebenezer Good, easy good, easy good. Easy good, easy good. He's Ebenezer Good.
Got any salmon? Sorted.
Easy good, easy good. Easy good, easy good.
Oh, what a carry on.
Easy good, easy good. Easy good, easy good. He's Ebenezer Good.
Ebenezer Good from The Shaman. I'm Terry Walsh, it's BBC Radio Stoke. You're listening to my dance classics from the 80s and 90s, as well as hearing some memories from those involved in the music scene of that era. John Hill was the creator of the dance night
Stoke, and she's saying, yes, we've got an offer from Athens, we've got an offer from Tokyo for that weekend. There's Eric Murillo, Tiesto, Laurent Garnier, amongst others, Judge Jules, Seb Fontaine, Topol, anybody you can name, really. And to manage to bring that level of talent to the city is something that I'm really, really proud of, and it's never been done before, and I don't think it'll ever be done again.
Shine on, let the light of love grow stronger. You got to shine on. You're the sun in my heart, a flame in the dark. So let the light of love shine on. Yeah, let the light shine. I've been waiting such a long time in the shadows for someone just
It's BBC Radio Stoke, I'm Terry Walsh, and you're listening to dance classics from the 80s and 90s. Still to come on this New Year's Eve special, an exclusive music mix from the legendary Hacienda DJ Graham Park. Now, 2017 is a big milestone in the world of dance music, as John Hill explains.
It's 25 years for a number of people, started with us, so it seems to be a big year to be coming back to clubbing. Cream at 25 later in the year, Renaissance at 25 later in the year. And I think there's a whole new market for it. It's been called heritage clubbing, which I think is quite an apt description. It's not something that people want to do every weekend. Let's be honest, I don't think it's something that people could do every weekend. But I think that there's still a love of dance music in people over 50, and I include myself in that, and the market response has been phenomenal. So we just can't wait.
Walsh's Dance Classics, BBC Radio Stoke.
Hi, my name's Paul Walters. I was co-owner of the Void nightclub in Glass Street, Hanley. I owned a bar called the Foyer in Trinity Street, and I got involved with David Goody and a guy named Gavin Donnellan at the Void, and we did a huge refurb there, and that's when we called it the Void, and it just went from there, really.
What about some of the characters that came through and the DJs? What memories do you have of that?
I think one of my greatest memories when we had Marvin Hagler, the boxer there, who was bought by my old boxing promoter Pat Brogan, and he went onto the bongo drums in the main room. That was quite a memory. And of course we've had plenty of huge DJs across the years who've come to the clubs. Carl Cox, Pete Tong, Sasha, all the biggest DJs in the world were played there.
Many people, when they've talked to me about the Void, the excitement was as great in the queues waiting to get in as it was once they got in there.
Huge queues. I mean, there's nothing better than coming up in the taxi, coming from home and pulling around the corner and just see the queues going all the way around the street, with like over 1,000 people queuing to get into the club.
It's BBC Radio Stoke, and tonight you're listening to Dance Classics and Memories on this New Year's Eve special. Now, if you were part of the dance scene, you'll remember the Void in Hanley. Paul Walters was its co-owner.
We had Golden there on a monthly basis, but eventually John decided that he wanted to come back full time, and then that's when the club went huge. There was we had people travelling from all over the place. I remember one night we had a minibus came over from Ireland to come to the club. Obviously, the promoter with having Golden and John Hill there, that was having John booking all the DJs, all the best DJs in the world coming to the club. That was a massive pull. Also, the club was, it was done right. We had a great, fabulous sound system in there. We had a great air conditioning system in there. We had the two rooms that complemented one another. Great staff team, great door team. It's such a friendly place to be, and I think that's the reason it was such a success with all those things combined.
Terry Walsh's Dance Classics, BBC Radio Stoke.
This is Radio Freedom.
KLF is gonna rock ya. KLF is gonna rock ya.
KLF with a massive dance classic, 3 a.m. Eternal on BBC Radio Stoke. I'm Terry Walsh, and tonight on this New Year's Eve special, I'm playing you some of the dance classics of the 80s and 90s. Now, Pete Bromley was a DJ at Shelley's in Longton. Here, he remembers an iconic moment of dance history that people still talk about today.
The big memorable night for a lot of Shelley's goers was when Alternate did this big publicity stunt where they turned up with an articulated lorry, and after the kicking out at club time, they dropped the side on the tarpaulin on it, and they were there ready to perform live until the police turned up. So that was one of the memorable things there.
What made the 1990s different than any other music era was that the DJs became stars and superstars in their own right. Pete Bromley again.
I saw that first when we were at the Regimes Club. That was the time where we started booking guests, and the first ones we saw come through on that level was Jeremy Healy and Pete Tong at the time. I mean, Pete Tong had his radio show, but he hadn't had it that long at that time. He took over from Jeff Young. He's even in the dictionaries, it's all gone Pete Tong. It's become one of them sort of terms he's so interwoven with the dance music thing, but he was one of the first people come and sort of really paid a lot of money for, but people flocked to see, and generally used to do like, you know, quite a performance behind the turntable stuff. Not just, people didn't come just to see him DJ, to hear what he played, they came to look at him. They were the first times I saw that, and then obviously that escalated into the 90s. Saw the first girl DJs come through and have a big impact. Boy George became a DJ, I played with him many times.
So apart from yourself, do you have a favourite DJ?
Well, Graham Park was my inspiration early days, and he was the first person I heard to play a mixed set of just house music and no other music in there, and that was the trigger to like, this is how I want to do it, to this standard and this style. And he was the blueprint of how I've DJ'd ever since then. In those early days, he'd have everything much earlier than anybody else. He'd given acetates and test pressings from all the labels, and he'd give it Graham first to give it the sort of stamp of approval, and so I was on the next rung down from that. I'd get, you know, the test pressings and stuff like that, and it's like, well, yeah, Graham's played this, I love that. He's my main inspiration for early days like that.
Terry Walsh's Dance Classics, BBC Radio Stoke.
It seems to me that we don't always get along. We are trying now, don't seem to try too long. Watching your neighbor seems to fill you with alarm. His cause is different now, don't mean he means you harm.
City living got us soften up inside. When we have problems, see, we all just running high. Time to discover why we are feeling this way. Let's let love have its say.
I know you need it, brother said he needs it, sister said she needs it. We are gonna need it someday. We seem to lose our way, somehow got led astray. That's why I'm here to say, gotta get back to love. I know you need it, brother said he needs it, sister said she needs it. We are gonna need it someday. We seem to lose our way, somehow got led astray. That's why I'm here to say, gotta get back to it now.
Trouble started when we don't communicate. We build our future now, or we can seal our fate. Wasted energy on promises we break. We've wasted chances now, but still it ain't too late.
There is a common goal we must all realize. It's time to make a change in how we live our life. Time to discover why we are feeling this way. Let's let love save the day. I know you need it, brother said he needs it, sister said she needs it. We are gonna need it someday. We seem to lose our way, somehow got led astray. That's why I'm here to say, gotta get back to love. I know you need it, brother said he needs it, sister said she needs it. We are gonna need it someday. We seem to lose our way, somehow got led astray. That's why I'm here to say, gotta get back to it now. he needs it. Sister said she needs it. We are gonna need it someday. We seem to lose our way, somehow got led astray. That's why I'm here to say, gotta get back to it now.
Graham Park's remix of the brand new Heavies and Back to Love. I'm Terry Walsh, playing you some dance classics from the 80s and 90s here on BBC Radio Stoke. We're also hearing memories from local DJ Pete Bromley, including his favourite track.
That's such a difficult one, that is, because I've been through so many different scenes and genres over the years, so each one of them's got 100 in each one. But I've always said my favourite club track of all time, which I still used to play sometimes at the end of Golden, which originally is from 1983, was Shannon Let the Music Play, which is my all-time favourite club record, which I still play a new re-edit of it now. Like last week I've still played a version of it. That, I think that's like epitomises like the whole club scene for me personally. But it's not even a house track, but it's the tempo of house, and again became, you know, what's the foundations of what house and then electro and everything was based on.
Terry Walsh's Dance Classics, BBC Radio Stoke.
Hi, my name's Nick Shuker and I DJ'd at The Void in the late 90s. In 1986, Terry, I used to go to the place every Sunday night. Eventually, I started doing my own gigs in small bars and for friends' parties, and started off really small. And eventually, I started using a local record shop in Hanley called Global Groove Records. And who worked there but the man himself, Pete Bromley, who was resident at The Void. So after speaking to Pete many, many times going into the shop, eventually I got to know that he actually DJ'd at The Void, and he very kindly used to give me a guest pass to go into there. And that's my beginnings of going into the club scene in Hanley and all different places in England.
What's your early memories of the first tracks and artists and DJs?
For me, it was people like Shaka Khan. Obsession, Colonel Abrams, Trapped, songs like that, Terry, in sort of like the late 1980s. They just had that feel-good extra something from everything else that was going on in the charts, and that's really what attracted me to the club scene in the first place.
Terry Walsh's Dance Classics, BBC Radio Stoke.
Should I listen what you say or listen what your folks say? It's a tough decision to make. I don't really want to lose you, but I don't want your folks to turn me over to the hands of the law. I guess they think that I'm not good enough for you. I can tell the way they act in their attitudes. As the tears roll from my eyes, I feel a hurt inside. As I reach out to you, said I'm so confused. Oh, I'm trapped like a fool. I'm in a cage. I can't get out. See, I'm trapped. Can't you see I'm so confused? I can't get out. See, I'm trapped like a fool. I'm in a cage. I can't get out. See, I'm trapped. Can't you see I'm so confused? I can't get out. If you love one another, why should we let this go further? Can't you see it's gonna pull us apart? If you think I can afford to support you if you want to, ever think about ever settling down? I guess they think that I'm not good enough for you. I can tell the way they act in their attitudes. As the tears roll from my eyes, I feel a hurt inside. As I reach out to you, say I'm so confused. Oh, I'm trapped like a fool. I'm in a cage. I can't get out. See, I'm trapped. Can't you see I'm so confused? I can't get out. See, I'm trapped like a fool. I'm in a cage. I can't get out. See, I'm trapped. Can't you see I'm so confused? I can't get out.
Can't you see I'm so trapped and I don't know what to do? Can't you see I'm so trapped, so in love with you?
See, I'm trapped and I'm so confused. I'm like a man in a cage and I'm so in love with you. I'm trapped.
Can't you see I'm so
Your
trapped
folks are in the
and I
way,
don't know what to
and
do?
I don't know what to say.
Can't you see I'm so
You see I'm
trapped,
trapped.
so in love with you?
Oh, I told myself over and over again what I'm gonna do about it. Say it again. Oh, baby, I'm trapped.
Can't you see I'm so trapped and I don't know what to do?
I'm like a man in a
Can't you see I'm
cage,
so
and I'm so in
trapped, so
love with
in
you,
love with you?
love with you. Oh, I'm trapped. Feel so confused, so depressed. Hey, I'm so in love with you. Oh, I'm trapped, baby. Oh, I'm trapped, baby. Hey, 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 hey. Oh, I'm trapped, baby.
Can't you see I'm so trapped and I don't know what to do? Can't you see I'm so trapped, so in love with you? I'm going out of my head. It seems I'm crazy for you. I'm going out of my head for you. Do ah 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 ah.
Real, this love you're giving me. Oh, girl, what I'm gonna do about it? But it's so confusing.
listening to BBC Radio Stoke's Dance Classics with me, Terry Walsh. Here's the Void DJ, Nick Shuka.
I used to go to a lot of bars in Stoke-on-Trent and in different places in England, but there was just something about standing in the queue at the Void and everybody that you looked at, and the queue was absolutely huge. Everybody just could not wait to get into that venue. There was not a sad person in the crowd who just couldn't wait to get into there. And when they got into the venue, boy, what a night.
So what was it that made it such a great night? Was it the music, the DJ, the atmosphere?
I just think everything, Terry, everything combined. You couldn't wait to get into the venue, and when you got into the venue, the music was that good. I do remember in the Void, they used to have two bars. They used to have the second bar, which was, they called it Room 2, and then you had two grey doors which led you to the main room in the Void. And you push them open. It's as if you were going through a hospital ward, them sorts of doors. You push the two doors open, and then you were instantly on the balcony above the DJs looking over at the audience, and the atmosphere, it's just, as I said before, you can't put it into words really, Terry. It was just unbelievable. The energy, the attitude, the people in there, it was just beautiful. Beautiful.
You first went to the Void as a clubber.
Yeah.
And then you became a DJ. What did that mean?
Oh, to me, because I was a DJ already, Terry, but to actually get a chance to DJ in the Void, I can still feel it now. I remember standing there on the first night, standing in the same place that I'd seen and heard and watched people like my idols, like Pete Bromley, like Pete Tong, like Judge Jules, and I was actually there, standing in that spot, ready to put my needle on that record, Terry, and boy, amazing, unbelievable. Some of the biggest tracks I remember playing, Terry, was tracks like Delirium, Silence.
In this way, I am singing. In this silence, in this way, in this silence, I
One of the biggest songs for me was Faithless Insomnia, Terry. You hear it on the radio and you can play it in your car, you can play it at home, but you cannot feel the experience of playing that record, Terry, unless you're playing it through like a 750 watt sound system. Unbelievable.
Start to write, I struggle to fight dark forces in the clear moonlight without fear. Insomnia, I can't get no sleep. Going mad in a hurry, getting stressed, making excess mess in darkness. No electricity, something's all over me, greasy. Insomnia, please release me and let me dream of making mad love to my girl on the heath. Tearing off tights with my teeth, but there's no release, no peace. I toss and turn without cease, like a curse. Open my eyes and rise like yeast. At least a couple of weeks since I last slept, kept taking sleepers, but now I keep myself pet. Deeper still, the night I write by candlelight, I find insight, fundamental movement. So when it's black, this insomniac, take an original tack, keep the beast in my nature under ceaseless attack. I get no sleep, I can't get no sleep.
Terry Walsh's Dance Classics, BBC Radio Stoke.
It's a source of
exclusive dance mix from DJ Graham Park. But before we finish, I want to play you two of my all-time favourite dance tracks. Both are from 1997 and both are produced by Germany's Sash. In a moment, Encore une fois, but first, Stay, featuring Lautrec.
I had a dream last night. You were there. You held my hand so tight. I thought I'd just die. Do you remember when we used to have so much fun? I used to cry sometimes. Those days are gone. Do you remember? last night.
Mesdames, Messieurs, le disc jockey Zash est de retour.
Terry Walsh's Dance Classics, BBC Radio Stoke.
Zash est de retour.
Walsh's Dance Classics, BBC Radio Stoke.
Hello, my name's Graham Park. I'm a DJ, best known for my 9-year residency at Hacienda in Manchester, although I'm still DJing now. And I have very vague memories of Shelley's because I only ever played there once. But what I do remember was it being absolutely packed and condensation or sweat or some liquid dripping off the ceiling onto the decks as I was DJing. That's my main memory of it. But it was a fantastic night. And of course, Sasha started out at Shelley's. I remember when Sasha used to come to Hacienda, this young lad with a ponytail, and he used to come with a DJ box and introduce himself to me and Mike Pickering and watch what we did. And he said he was going to start DJing in Stoke. And we said, yeah, whatever. Unaware that he was going to and that he was going to end up as a massive star. So if it wasn't for Sasha coming to Hacienda and then going to Shelley's, who knows what would have happened.
More from Graham Park in a moment, but first, here's Ginny and Keep Warm.
Keep it warm.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You're listening to BBC Radio Stoke's Dance Classics with me, Terry Walsh, playing you some of the greatest 80s and 90s dance hits. DJ Graham Park reflects on his career so far.
The thing that surprises me the most, though, is when I started DJing in 1984, I thought, you know what, I'll give this a few years and see where it takes me. Well, it's now 2016, 2017. I've been a DJ for 32, 33 years, and I'm still very busy DJing pretty much every weekend. But it's not just clubs I do. I still do clubs. But what I've been doing more in the past 5 or 6 years is people's 40th birthday parties and 50th birthday parties. Now, obviously, a few years ago when I started doing 40th birthday parties, that kind of made sense to me. But in the past 2 years, I've been getting inquiries, can I book you for my 50th birthday party? And they're just incredible, because when you play a private party where everyone knows everyone else, but it's people who have grown up with me and used to go to the Hacienda or used to go to Golden or Shelley's, and they're there with all their friends who used to go clubbing 25, 30 years ago. They're just incredible parties, but also they have their children at these parties. So the client will be some man or woman who's 50, will then introduce me to some young man or woman in their 20s. Oh, this is my daughter, this is my son. But everyone is just going crazy and is really into acid house music and house music from the late 80s and early 90s. There's a whole new generation of young producers who were never even born when the Hacienda was at its peak. And they are making house music that is inspired by acid house, the stuff that I was, one of the first DJs in the UK to play. And for me, as someone who's been DJing for over 30 years and someone who's turned 50, it's a real joy to play brand new music that is so obviously inspired by the music that my generation helped spread around the world. So it's something I could never have predicted. But you know what? I wouldn't change it for the world. I've had the most incredible 30 years. I'm not sure how many more years I can keep doing it, but as long as, one, people keep asking me to do it, and two, I still enjoy doing it, I see no reason why that can't continue for at least a few more years anyway.
It's BBC Radio Stoke. You're listening to an exclusive mix from DJ Graham Park, who's best known for his 9 years at the Hacienda nightclub in Manchester. This is BBC Radio Stoke, and you're listening to an exclusive mix from DJ Graham Park. On the way next, Colin Young's Trunk of Funk. I'm Terry Walsh, and you've been listening to my 80s and 90s Dance Classics special. I hope you enjoyed it, and I wish you a Happy New Year.